Hey everyone, Josh SNE Weather here. I just want to go through this weekend and give you a little something about a possibility for next week. Here we go. So here we are with the European computer model showing low pressure developing over by the Carolinas, moving up to Delmarva, and then coming right over Connecticut. 975 millibar low pressure. One feature that we need to keep an eye on is where you see this 540 line, the blue line here. Gonna just keep an eye and see if there might be a changeover at the end of this storm system as it pushes away. And then it goes up into Canada and it is out of here. So that's the Euro. So here comes the GFS, and the GFS similar, 990 millibar low pressure out here compared to 975. It's a pretty big difference. 987 by over Cape Cod, 984, 985, 985, and then moving out. As you can see, this is not having that blue line wrap around, but I will say this. If there's a 985 millibar low pressure, I would expect that this snow would wrap around better than it is right now. I would think that would be the case. I just have a hard time believing that a low pressure of this magnitude would not have that happening. Actually, I wouldn't like seeing 534 way up here. I'm kind of amazed by that. I would expect the 528 maybe to be there, where the cutoff usually happens when you have a system like this connected all the way to the Gulf. And you can see where a lot of the moisture even comes from is the Gulf, comes out of Florida, and you can literally see where all the moisture is coming from into our area. So, in the Euro, it agrees. It's going to have a connection into the tropics. All right. So, and I think the Euro has a better depiction of that 540 line that I was just talking about, which is this blue line right here. I think it has a much better depiction of it, rather than, you can see where it says 540 there, than what the GFS is showing. All right, next map. This is the vorticity map. I want to show this because there's an interesting feature on this, and that's this right here. This is what I like to call the northern branch. All right, I'll just back it up. You can see it comes right out of Canada, right? That vorticity comes into this storm center here and just starts energizing it, and you can tell by looking at how deep those purples and whites and lighter colors are starting to get inside those reds. And you can see it moves up, and you know what? Here we go. Negative tilt to the jet stream, which we didn't hear a lot of last year. And we have ourselves a pretty decent storm looking at this. So I mentioned that northern branch for a reason, because the GFS is showing the northern branch right here, but it's not digging into the system. And actually, the GFS is way behind. Let me bring this to 6Z. I mean, that's 3Z, excuse me. There we go, 6Z. I mean, it's already in the Carolinas and Virginia. The GFS is still way out in Western Tennessee. So that's one thing that's different between these two models and why there is uncertainty right now taking place. Moving it further, you can see it just doesn't dig. It doesn't dig like the Euro has shown. And it doesn't get a connection into this storm system until here. And then there's a whole nother feature right here. So, and that's the other thing. As this system keeps going, you can see there's another feature here. So I would I just think that if this is here, I don't think this is going to come northward. I think it's going to come further east. If the GFS is right, I would think that it would push this storm further off the coast, kind of jot underneath it, than actually pull it in. But then again, it's like most cyclones, even tropical cyclones, they love the tail end of fronts. So it's not out of the realm of the possibility that it does move up and over Cape Cod, as it shows right here. Oops, excuse me, sorry about that. And here we go with the Euro. I mean, it's a lot further north, goes right over Connecticut, and then comes out. So that's just a couple of things that are different between the GFS and the Euro right now. So here's the precipitation. You see about 2 to 4 inches of rainfall in New York and western Connecticut, western Massachusetts, and the GFS is right on top of us. About 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. By the way, with the Euro, there is an isolated amount of 4 to 5 inches possibility out in this western Connecticut area. I mean, the GFS is not showing that. It's pretty much in a 2 to 4 inches of rainfall range, which is a possibility, especially if you're getting all that tropical moisture from the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico. Very, very strong possibility that does happen. Winds, I mean, Euro 50 to 70 miles per hour. Some areas more than that. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on as well. GFS says no. Actually, this is not the right model run. Gotta go back up one. I gotta refresh because the 0Z is probably coming in, and that's exactly what's happening. So, let me move it forward. And yeah, I mean, the GFS, is not showing much for winds out of this storm system. As you can see, you get some winds, about 20 to 40 miles per hour. That's about it. Nothing crazy. Euro is all hands on deck. So there's uncertainty on precipitation and winds and track. And I'll tell you why track. Because look, this is the knob. I do not like using the 12 km. I don't like using it at hour 84. But this gives me somewhat of an idea of what could happen. And you can see our storm develops right near Delmarva, and then it's off New Jersey's coast. Not what does it do remains to be seen. I look at how flat this looks right here, this feature here. You know, the blue lines and the red lines, how flat it looks. I would say it's going to do something like this. I would say Cape Cod, Rhode Island, Cape Cod area. If this were to be the outcome. I mean, look at the Euro. The Euro, it's not that far off. I mean, let me just double check something. What is this? 12Z Saturday, excuse me. All right, let's back it up. 12Z Saturday. I mean, it's not too far off. I mean, that's pretty close to each other. But the difference is, Nam is pretty flat with that direction that it would most likely go in. While here, then it's not so much. It looks like it would come like literally like this. But something we have to watch. But anyway, so I want to get into something else real quick. And that is, as soon as this storm exits, there's going to be a lot of cold air in place. And no, I wouldn't say a lot of cold air. It's going to be colder, as you can see. But there is a storm system that we should keep an eye on for. And that's right here. It's shown it rather weak the following weekend. There was another one before this. Maybe it's a 0Z. That might have been this morning's model run. Just want to double check this. Yeah, there it is. This is, no, that's our storm that just passing by. And, all right. Anyways. Oh, that's this weekend's. All right. Well, I can't seem to find that storm system now. Maybe it was the year I saw it. All right. There it is. So the Euro is showing something developing out here on Monday after this storm. I think it's going to stay mostly out to sea, but it needs to be watched. And the reason why I say it needs to be watched because the models had been pinning a storm around this time frame for quite a bit and showing the possibility of a snowstorm. By the way, just to give you an idea, the European computer model was showing a storm developing and dropping like 6 inches or more of snow. So we need to keep an eye on it because the cold air is going to be in place. Because this storm system, if it is as powerful as this is suggesting, that's definitely going to pull down the cold air. There's no doubt about that. But how much cold air comes into play remains to be seen, and is it going to be enough cold air where it's going to keep this out here? Seeing the 928 right here. That would tell me that if the storm did develop and started backing into us, then the cutoff would be right there. It's something just to watch for now. It's nothing set in stone or etched in stone, but it is something to keep an eye on. So that's our storm system for this weekend. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty good one. And hey, this is not the final solution. There is a chance that this thing could go further east, and there's a chance it could even go further west. So we'll keep an eye on it, and I'll keep you posted. Everybody have a great night.